Hey, what's up, people? It's your boy Blunt, and I want to welcome you to the revamping of Chopping It Up. Where here I have in the very first episode, I am joined by my little baby sister, and we talk about a video that I came across that has to do with a couple. Is I'm going to link the video in the description so you can see and have the full context of what it is that my sister joined me and we talked about. And then after we finish and you finish watching it, you can join us in the comments and let us know what you think. All right. So without further ado, welcome to Chopping It Up. We just finished rewatching the video. For those who joining us right now, I'm gonna leave a link in below so you can watch the video so you get the full context of our conversation here, chopping it up. First of all, let me welcome my little baby sister, Santa's favorite teacher, Patty. Welcome to the very first rebroadcast of Chopping It Up. And of course, I got to use family members. So we just watched a video about a couple, and they was in counseling, and it was very interesting to me. That's why I wanted to bring people in. So let me talk to my sister about it. But first of all, let me just make this how you say let me just say let me just say in the beginning what something that I noticed is that the council lady, I think she kind of misinterpreted something there, because
Yeah.
she said um that he says he wants affection and then she has a rebuttal, but I'm like, that's not what he said. He said that he just feels like a ghost, that she does everything, right, like as far as cooking and hanging out with the fellas, but he feels alone. He didn't say that he needed affection. He said he just wanted to be seen, right?
Yeah.
Right. And she said that he said he needed affection. She didn't say that. I think the affection part was fine, but I think it was other parts in the relationship that she's slacking on. But his main point, what do you think his main point was um when you watched the video?
It's like, to me, honestly, it just sounds like she don't hear him because, like, yeah, she feels like she's doing the right thing, the role of being. Are they married or are they just
It's
together?
supposed to be a married couple.
Oh, okay. So I guess she's probably feel like she's doing the wifely duties of like hanging out with the boys, cooking, making sure everything's done, making sure the house
Right.
is clean and stuff like that, right? But he's like, yo, like basically, I feel like maybe when he's down or he's upset, maybe she's kind of like glossing over that and not hearing him, I guess. That's what it seemed like to me. Um, and then she was like, well, I'm a robot. And she probably is responding like that because she probably is just like trying to fulfill the wifely duties of making sure, like, okay, I'm hanging up with the boys, making sure that I'm interested in make him feel like I'm interested in his part of his life, like his friends and stuff, making sure the house is clean, making sure I'm cooking and yada yada. But I don't know where the counselor got her interpretation because that's what I didn't hear. And I was kind of confused as well.
Right. I'm like, what? And
He
and
didn't say that, but okay.
that's one of the first things that I noticed, because when I went to counseling for my marriage, the first counselor didn't work out because she kept putting words in my mouth, and um, I don't know, it just aggravated the hell out of me every time she did it, and I had to speak on it. I couldn't just let her get away with it. But of course, in my sessions, every time she put words in my mouth, it was to benefit my ex-wife.
Yeah.
And I wasn't against anything benefit her. I was just against the fact that she was putting words in my mouth. Like, I would say something and she misinterpreted, I guess, to what she thought I was saying, and I'm like, no, I didn't say that. And I kept saying that during the session. No, I didn't say that. It's like, stop saying that. And it got to the point where I literally said, stop putting words in my mouth. Like I literally screamed at her because she kept doing it over and over, and it was defeating the purpose of us being at counseling because all she was doing was pointing a finger at me. But again, that wasn't what I was upset about. It was more that she kept misinterpreting what I'm saying. Every time she pointed out something I did bad, I owned up to it. And I said, you know what? At a certain point, I may not have realized what I was doing, or I was doing it out of anger, and it was out of line, out of pocket, and I will apologize to my ex for it. But then at the same time, she says some other stuff, and I'm like, I can't. That's not nothing near what I'm telling you. Like you saying something else. But so that's why it jumped out to me real quick when she said that. I'm like, I don't think he said that. He didn't say that. He just said he just felt alone. And I think your interpretation of what was going on is pretty spot on. I kind of feel like during the highlight when they're with people, she's doing everything she's supposed to be doing as far as wifey duties and being around him and interested in stuff that he likes. And then when he's down and out, she's not paying attention to that part. The silent part, when he's quiet. See, when men get into downs and bad situations, we pull back. We get silent. We don't talk when we stay amongst ourselves. So it
But I
kind of
feel like
feels like
but I feel like that's everyone, because I feel like women do the same thing as well. Like it depends on the woman too. I feel like it's a general people thing, right? Because I feel like there's some women that if they're upset, they're gonna tell you like, "Yo, this is I'm upset because X, Y, and Z." And there's some people who like don't say nothing. Like that's me and my partner, me and my fiance, Vanessa. When she's upset, she comes and tells me like, "I'm upset because X, Y, and Z." But me personally, like if I'm upset, I don't say nothing for days. I'll just sit there. I'll just sit there and stew and like stew and stew and stew, and then I'll blow up. Well, this is why I'm upset. And she was like, "You could have just told me that 3 days ago." But that's just how I convey my. I feel like she tells me all the time I'm the dude of the relationship. I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm the nigga.
that's crazy. But yeah, because we like to try to figure things out on our
Exactly.
own, and sometimes when you angry, you just can't think clearly. So you gotta let it simmer, and you know think about it, and think about certain ways of thinking about it. Like you gotta hit it from different angles. But so his thing is with her also. I think the counselor picked up on this right away. Was everything was a rebuttal. So and that's why he's saying also that he's not being heard. He feels alone because every time he says something, instead of every time he brings something up, and I'm quite sure that he has brought stuff up. This is why they were in counseling. Um, it doesn't get addressed. It gets deflected into, well, this is what you do to me. Like the blame goes back to him. So he'll say something, and then she's like, "Well, I do this and that, or you did this and that," and it's like it's like he can't win. And even at the very end, when his when counselor brings up that she's how you say rebutting him, she ends it with a rebuttal. Like, and he's
Wait, what
like,
did you say again?
she hold on. Hold on. We're gonna pause the video because I'm gonna show it for my sister again, and we'll come right back. Hold on. Listen to the end. Watch the end.
How do I not understand you?
Perfect example. You feel that I need affection. And it's more about being seen. You're so in with the boys and cooking, and I appreciate it all to the max. But I feel like I'm a ghost in the house.
And I feel like I'm a robot.
That I see, and I acknowledge that 100%.
That sounds meaningful.
That I'm a robot and that he feels like a ghost?
No. I heard Drew say that when you say he needs affection, you're not hearing him. That he's saying he feels like a ghost, like you don't see him.
I understand that. I can.
Well, that you did not convey that. Your response was, and I'm a robot.
And that is an issue. It's always but this. It's not like
It goes both ways.
And that it does go both ways, honestly.
It does, but as it's proving his point right there by her just saying that right there. It's just another rebuttal at this point. You know, she's not taking accountability for what she's doing wrong. She's saying, "Yeah, but it's a but. What aboutism? But buttism," and she's interjecting that. And again, he said, "You think I need affection?" Like, no, he's not saying that. He's just saying that he feels alone. He feels like a ghost, so he's not being seen. He's not being heard.
But my
And
question is, I mean, we don't really get this from this clip because obviously it's just like what, a 20, 30-second clip.
it's like
But
20, right?
right? But my question would be, as the therapist, I'm like, have you said something to her like when you were upset, or you expect her to read your mind?
That is a good question. And again, like I said, it's only a 20 or 30-second clip. I kind of feel like I don't know. I feel like he does say something, but you know, sometimes when you say things like, for me, for instance, I'm going to just put myself on a chopping block here, and I might say things once or twice, and if I'm not getting the response that I either would like, if I don't, I'll bring it up. Then after a while, I'm just not going to say it. I'm just not going to bring it up anymore. You know, like I have somebody in my life that's a constant. He kind of fibs a lot, you know, and we already told him about it, but he still does it. You know, at this point, I'm not going to keep bringing it up. I know what it is, and I just act and move accordingly. So that's pretty much how I treat everything. If I'm telling you something for the first time, and I feel like you might have heard me, but you're not paying attention to it, and I tell you, and I bring it up again, at that point, I'm not bringing it up no more after that. I'm just going to let it be. But in that situation, when you with your partner, it you know, over the years, that it starts to weigh heavy on you, and you start to not be able to control that anger, and it starts to drive a rift between you and your partner. So yeah, that's just therapy is important, y'all.
Yeah,
Therapy
but
is important.
it just seems to me like they both stop hearing each other. Because maybe she's like, well, the whole robot thing comment, to me, it just seems like she, like I said earlier, it feels like she feels like it's her duty to do it. But maybe she don't freaking want to do it. Maybe she wants to kick back and relax too. Like, maybe she just want to, like, I don't know, go to her room and read a book, or go and like play a game if she likes is into that stuff, or do stuff for herself. But she just feels like a robot because she feels like that's the wifely thing to do. But at the same time, why didn't she explain that to him too? Like, yo, like, I'm okay with, you know, hanging out with you guys and cooking for y'all, but sometimes I just want to be one of the guys and chill and not do anything. Like, it's your friends. Like, why don't you cook?
Yeah, and I kind of feel like if she did tell him that he would be all right with that, because you see, he said, you know, you hang out with the guys and and he said, I appreciate that to the max. So it's not like he's not seeing that; he sees that. But if she feels some kind of way about it, then she should tell him. And I don't know. And he might. It seemed like to me like he'll be okay with it, but you never know. I don't know these people from a hole in the wall, so he could be like, "What, bitch? What you that?" You know, he could be wilding out after that. But it's just a weird vibe I got from the whole thing. I mean, I posted that. I believe I posted on my TikTok channel, and the crazy thing, I swear, it's just, you see a lot of women jumping in the defense of the female, and it's like, this is the problem. Like, it's not this is not the only thing I post. There's a lot of times when I post things that is just for a women and people in a relationship, mostly women, because it's usually a guy saying something when a guy is saying something about women's relationship, and I feel it's spot on. Like, it's just in my opinion, I feel like this is spot on. Like, people in a relationship could use this advice, whether they need it or not, and just just listen to it. And I'll put up, just listen. That's it. That's all I'll put as the comment. Just listen. And it's really for people just to listen. It's not to really solicit a comment, but you get a shitload of comments from women disrespecting the guy or saying something terrible about the guy. And it's like, okay, if you don't like what he's saying, that's fine. You don't have to agree or like what he's saying. Then this is not for you. But I'm speaking for people who are serious in a relationship. I'm posting this for people that are serious.
That's like, the perfect example was the whole Amber Heard, what's his name again?
Johnny Depp
situation. Like, people was coming at him. I was like, but she was doing mad bullshit too. Like, come on now. I was like, when that whole situation went down, like, I actually was on his side, because I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, they was toxic for each other. Like, they should not have been in a relationship with each other. That's just point blank, period. But at the end of the day, I'm like, she was doing some really fucked up shit to him, and she basically made his career, like, almost end his career.
Damn near ended his career.
Yeah, and like, she was still going on. She did like Aquaman or something like that. Like,
not
she was
anymore.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
they pulled her too. They needed to, but at the time, like, she was doing other stuff, and like, he was pretty much blackballed because of all the bullshit that she did to him, and like, he acted in retaliation. I can't blame him, but like, she did some fucked up shit to him too.
Yeah, she and the crazy thing is she set all of that up. She set the whole lawsuit up. She knew exactly what she was doing when she was doing what she did, and that's what these people in Hollywood just. I don't understand how they don't see that. I mean, the same thing just happened to
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors,
The
lady set him up. She set him up.
He was stupid. Like, he should have seen the signs. Like,
he was.
After she was talking mad mess, and like, first of all, you're a celebrity. Like, everybody's eyes is gonna be on you, bro. And you are in freaking Marvel. You was making bank, and you was gonna be up for the rest of, like, for 10 years at least. And instead of you realizing, okay, this girl's crazy, let me just head on out and be out, he stayed with her, and then he went and said that Coretta. Oh, I need a Coretta Scott King, sir.
Right.
Sir.
Right. I was like, do you not see that you with a snow bunny here? Like, this is just not gonna work out, bro. Like, you don't take the lessons.
Scott King, you need to find a Coretta Scott King. Like, you need to find that woman, like, sir.
Yeah, he's with one now, but it's like kind of late, because the damage is done.
He's making good, and I'm just like, are you making good because you're just trying to get the way you, like, you just trying to get back into Hollywood's good graces? Like, so you're gonna pick Megan Good? And my question is to Megan Good is like, why you pick him now? Like, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, but from what I believe, that was who he was texting. That she called him texting. It was Megan Good that he was going back and forth with the text. So she found that on the cell phone, which sparked a big fight in the car. So she was already inching away. She's already inching her way into that. But he should have let her go. You can't be in that position and do things like he did. Right. And then he probably was laying the pipe great, and she was like, "Nah, I'm not going for that. I'm not letting this go that easy." And now he has to pay. I mean, yeah, he was running from her. She's chasing him. I don't know about all the assault and all that, but it was times on the phone that you hear the phone conversation. Like, who records phone conversations? Like, you hear the phone conversation.
Because ain't no way, like, even if you, I'll say this, as a woman, the only way you're gonna record a conversation is if you trying to tell your, like, let's say you telling your friends about what's been going on in a relationship, and like, you record the conversation just to be like, yo, this is what he's saying, da da da. But at the same time, I know I personally never reverted to recording a conversation on the phone. I may like screenshot a text message.
Yeah, I mean, text
But
messages
recording-
is.
Yeah, but recording a whole conversation. Nah, she was plotting. She was plotting.
Yeah, that's the sad part, and these people in Hollywood just don't get it, you know. Plus, it seems to me like they run in the same circles, like they all are dating the same people.
Yeah, they
Like
all did the same people. It's kind of weird. I was
they,
like, you guys just
ma-
pass around each other floppy seconds. Okay.
yeah, it makes what Cat Williams seem more plausible every day.
I mean, I'm
That
not a
mess
fan of
is
him,
going.
but some of the stuff he does say, I'm like, oh, you're right.
I kind of feel like Cat Williams um exposed some of the things that goes on in Hollywood. I don't know if he's exposing everything or if he's telling the full truth, because I kind of feel like there's some truth to what he's saying. I don't think everything's the truth. I mean, we even had a rebuttal video from Ice Cube, who was like he didn't write the script, which I kind of believe Ice Cube, because Ice Cube is a movie director and a writer. He's like, the script was already written. He's like, what Cat Williams is saying. He says it's kind of half true. It's not true because the script was already written, but there were parts that he was adding to that he wrote himself. That we just said, yo, go ahead, go with it. You know, so it's like when Cat was on the Shay Shay room with what's the name? He was saying that he wrote his part, and it's like, so when you listen to Cat, you feel like he wrote the part, and Ice Cube's like, no, you didn't write the part, you know. So I'm like, oh, okay. See, this is why context is important, and there's three sides to every story. You know, there's his story, her story, and then there's the truth, right? So you gotta take everything that people say with a grain of salt. And so I'm like, so I wonder how much stuff Cat said, because it was like almost a 3-hour video. You watched it? It was almost a 3-hour video.
I
it's
did
like
not watch it. I kind of just saw like people
clips
talking about it on Twitter, well, X. But I don't like Cat Williams like that, so I just didn't pay much of attention to it.
No, I you know what? Cat Williams is an okay comedian.
Yeah.
But one thing he said that is true, that I can vouch, is that when Cat Williams does his shows, he always brings comics that are better than him. And I have to agree with him, because I went to a Cat Williams show and everybody who got on the stage was better than him. And I'm like, why do that? But I understand the humbleness of it, because there are people out there that are better than him. And I think that was the second time I seen I can't think of her name right now, but she on SNL too. Tall black lady. I can't.
Oh, Leslie.
Yeah.
Leslie Jones.
Yeah. Let me tell you something, Pat. When she got on stage, my goddamn ribs were killing me. And she was hilarious. She was the funniest thing the whole night. I was like, I don't even remember what Cat Williams was talking about, but Leslie had me floored. I was like, this lady is going to be something special, because she was just fucking hilarious, you know. And I usually don't like women comics because they man bash a lot. And I'm a fucking man, so I'm not gonna sit there and laugh at that shit. That's not funny to me.
It be that funny though, because it be true. I don't know. To me,
No, listen. If you're going to man bash, you got it. That's all. This is my only thing when I go to like comedy shows and I sit in the front is, if you're gonna bash me or man bash, just be funny about it. You can't be man bashing and then be corny, because it's just not gonna work, you know. So a lot of comics, they get up there, they man bash, and I'm like, that's not funny. Like, that's not even funny. It's just, you're just out there man bashing at this point. But if you're gonna man bash, you make it funny. I'll laugh, especially if it's close to the truth. I'm laughing, you know. If you spot, and Leslie, she was spot on with a lot of shit she was saying. That she just had me floored. So yeah, so back to the conversation about the couple. I hope we could get more conversations with that, more therapy with that. You know, I want to thank you, Patty, for joining me on my first episode. I don't want to make it too goddamn long. We're already 20 minutes in, so. But yeah, so I mean, therapy is important, but it's also important to find the right therapist, people.
yes.
Don't just go with anybody. You have to have somebody that that you feel is compatible with you
You
and
say therapy is
understands
like
you.
dating. You have to like go around before you find the
You
right
have
one.
you have to, you have to go through a couple of them before you find the right one. It took me about 4 or 5 tries to find the perfect therapist for me. Um, I can't tell you what I went through talking to somebody, and it is personal things. So you really have to be very, very picky about who you find and who you talk to. Can't just go with anyone. And I think that was one of the main problems that helped end my marriage, because after that first therapist, I hated it. I couldn't stand going to it. But in my defense, it was making my ex feel good. She felt better about herself, which was in turn making me feel good. So I was willing to sit there and endure it, and have my argument sessions with the therapist, as long as she was feeling good about it. You know, but I guess she didn't like that out the way I was reacting to. But it's like, oh, what do you expect? Like, she keep putting words in my fucking mouth. Like, and
You
you know
know that,
me.
so I'm supposed to sit here and stay quiet? Like,
Yeah,
no.
you know me better than anybody else. I'm not gonna just sit here and let her do that. I'm not gonna let nobody do that. So I'm like, that's how I'm gonna react. And you're not even saying that. You know me. Then you should be like, don't do that, because he's not gonna respond. Like, he's not gonna respond the way you want him to. Because I get defiant, and I know this is a me thing. Once I feel like somebody's telling me I have to do something, I do the opposite.
Yo, facts. Maybe it's a Garcia thing because I do the same thing. You were like, do this. I'm like, no, I do what I want.
No. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It must be in the blood, because I just don't like to be told what I have to do.
Like,
And
I
it's
do it on my
hey,
own time. Damn
yeah,
it.
I'll do it when I get to it. The fuck, 3 years later. Oh,
Three.
right. So yeah, so this is great. I hope the people who respond to this well. I'm gonna leave the link in the comments. Watch the video, and you tell us what you think. And if you like what you see, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, blah blah blah. The YouTube thing.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Patty.
Of course, anytime.
Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye, y'all.